This is the Zalmora Sewalong part 1, and hopefully we're going to get a nod from Adam in a minute to say that we're actually live and that everything's connected.
It would appear so.
If you joined us last week, you'll know we had a few technical issues, so we're hoping that that's not going to happen this week. We've taken every precaution, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But if there's any issues, if it's buffering on your end, just let us know, because then if there's a couple of people, then it's probably something on our end. But yeah, welcome to the Sewalong. We won't get started quite yet because we're a little bit early, but we just wanted to get on and make sure everything's working and that it's there's no technical problems.
Yeah. Hopefully a bit smoother than last week. So thanks for coming back.
We're really excited for the Sewalong. You can let us know where you're joining us from. If this is your first ever bag, it'd be great to know how many first timers we've got, so we know whether to give you lots of extra explanations or whether you guys are all experienced bag makers and you just want to sew along with us. So
yep, and let us know if you're new to Country Cow, if this is the first of our patterns that you've tried.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
So Adam's going to let us know how this is going. Any technical problems?
YouTube says it's excellent.
Yay!
Comments coming through. People say they can hear us.
Yay! Okay, so we won't actually start till 5 o'clock. We just, if you need a cup of tea, now's your time to go and get one.
Is that working okay?
Yeah, it looks like it's working on our end here, so that's good. And if you're watching this after the live, you can always, skip ahead a few minutes to where we actually get started. But, let us know where you're joining us from, and Adam can tell us.
If you don't know, we're in Newquay in Cornwall. Not so sunny at the moment, but it's still beautiful, isn't it?
It is. Oh, Adam's putting up the little comments for us. Hi, Bridget. Northern Ireland. Hiya. Daisy. I couldn't quite read it was so small.
And Mississippi, USA.
Ooh,
Hello,
that's
pretty cool. Maine, the USA too.
Oh, I know where that is. That's on a lot of TV programs. I think that's the Cornwall of that part of the USA, the holiday destination.
Oh, I just missed one. But we've now got Rock in Worcestershire, not Rock in Cornwall, because we've got one down here too.
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
Everybody's from all over. That's really nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, Adam, you're going to have to let us know when we hit 5 o'clock.
Oh,
Diana said she's an old timer. She loves your patterns. Oh, that's really nice.
Harriet's on.
Hey from Texas.
Hi, Harriet.
You should grab the bag while we're working with John.
Oh, yes.
It's under the flower pot.
Oh, it's moved.
Not literally underneath a flower pot. But Harriet is a long-time customer of ours from the Netherlands. She's lovely, and she came to see us in the summer. And she brought us some gifts as well.
This is her take on the My First Tote. How cool is this? Yeah.
And I think
extra
the lining,
lacing and the lining.
Favourite part.
Yeah. Anybody that's been to Cornwall will know all these place names. It's got all of the names from around Penzance, Padstow.
Oh yeah, you might see it.
Oh, Adam. Okay.
Here.
Is that working, Adam?
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got one at home as well.
Got all of the names. She actually cut them out and sewed it all together. So we've got this amazing bag. It's this is the coolest My First Tote that we've ever seen.
Yeah. It's very cool, isn't it?
So.
And mine's slightly different, but it's got the same lining. It's really cool.
So we were quite happy with that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, look, the overhead it's working.
It is working.
So we're just watching ourselves on a delay.
Okay, I think we're about ready. We are okay with the technical issues. So are we happy to go ahead, Adam?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, right, brilliant. So some of you will have purchased the Sew-Along kit, which is the box that's got everything you need in. For everyone else, hopefully, if you signed up to the email, the mailing list for the Sew-Along, you'll have had the materials list through and you have all of your materials gathered. And yeah, basically today's all about preparation. So this is about asking all your questions about, is this fabric going to work? What interfacing should I use with this fabric? What size you're going to make it? Whether you're going to have the seam in the base or not? All of those questions, yeah. So if you've got any questions, you can just go ahead and let us know. And then if you're making the kit, then you're kind of set because it's got the right interfacing for the right fabric and all that kind of thing already. So, Debbie's added a little handmade badge because these came in this week.
Yeah, they're quite new. Yeah, so they're on the website now, but I thought, do you know what, we need to add one of those on.
Because we're doing one from the kit, we've got water-resistant canvas, which is really nice fabric to work with on any machine. So you can use it on a domestic machine as well as an industrial. But if you're using a domestic machine, just look out for the little extra tips as we go through, like the location of the D-rings and things like that, to make sure that you aren't like pushing your machine too far, trying to, get it to sew through something it doesn't want to sew through. So where should we start? Size. We're going to make ours from 100% size, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, I've done one of each, but yeah, I'm going to go for the 100% size.
So if you want to make it smaller, you can use the instructions in the pattern to print the pattern at 85%. So the first thing we need to do is get the pattern printed out and choose your size. If you're printing on a mobile device, I definitely recommend trying to print on a computer instead and using Adobe software, because like the mobiles will often, tablets as well, they'll often try to automatically scale the printing to a different size. Whereas when you print using like Adobe software on a computer, it will let you choose no scaling or 100% size, and then it prints it out the right size.
Yeah.
So that's like the boring technical stuff. If you've got printer issues, we probably can't help because printers are a nightmare.
Yeah.
So if you go ahead, if you haven't already, get your pattern pieces printed and the cutting chart. So you want to print pages 20 to 34. The cutting chart will give you all of the information that you need, like the fabric. So this is the exterior, that's the handle fabric, the lining fabric, the stabilizers, how many you need to do, and the sizes and the pattern piece letter. So this is like really handy. Just print this out, and then as we go through, you can tick off as you cut out all your pattern pieces.
Yep. So we've got our pattern pieces printed. We've printed it at 100%. Sometimes I've found you get an option shrink to fit. You don't want that ticked either. You just want to print it exactly as it is, and then check your sizes. So each page of this one has a test square on, doesn't it?
Yep.
We've got a 2-inch test square, and we've got a 5 centimetre, depending which measurements you're using.
Yep. Depending whether you're using imperial or metric. So you just want to check that your test square is absolutely perfect in the box. It shouldn't be off. If it's off a little bit, then it can end up throwing everything out. And although you can actually make the bag as it is, you'll just come up with like a couple of weird issues, anomalies along the way. So if you want a nice simple bag to make, then you just want it to print out correctly. Watch out for your measurement as well, because sometimes like they're different. I use this one and then I use another one I got from Amazon, and the inches are different sizes. So
it's taken us a long time to realise.
Yeah, I kept thinking it was printing out wrong, and it wasn't. It was my ruler. Yeah. So watch out for that. Okay, so once you're all printed, you want to cut your pattern pieces out. Debbie's going to do that for us.
Brilliant. Yep.
You want to cut on the solid lines, and then we'll show you how to join the pattern pieces together if you've never done that before. Adam, you've got to tell me if you've got any questions, because I won't know.
Yes, I'm just going to set up so you can actually see the live stream.
Okay.
So you don't miss the comments in case that happens.
You might still have to remind us. Debbie's just put up a note on by the camera saying, "Look here." So now I can't. I feel like I'm trying to look there. I'm going to miss your comments, but Adam can always, highlight them.
This is the not very exciting bit.
Yeah, but at least we're not making a coat, because if you've ever done that before, that's like a million pieces of paper, and then you have to like lay them out all over the floor and try and tape them together. It's quite a feat.
Right.
So somebody's asked, is there a way to fasten interfacing on wax canvas instead of sewing it?
So I was chatting to a customer the other day who fuses her interfacing to her wax canvas, which is wild. I've not tried it myself. She said she puts down like Teflon sheeting, then the wax canvas, then the interfacing, and does it on like a light heat, and it adheres, but it will remove all of the creases from the wax canvas, and a little bit of it will transfer to the Teflon.
You actually now view the watch.
Thanks. So that is an option, or for me, I don't really use interfacing when it's thick wax canvas. I just use stabilizer, and for that I use a bit of fabric glue to attach it. just make sure, like test it on an off cut first, because if you've got like a light coloured wax canvas, then it will show the glue, whereas if it's dark, then it's fine. So
You've actually got one made out of wax. You got two, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you can show how sturdy they look without interfacing.
yeah, so this one's our wax canvas, which is 12 ounce, I think. So it's quite sturdy, and then I added Decaville light, and I just used fabric glue to attach the Decaville light to it, but it hasn't got like any woven interfacing. If you're using woven interfacing, I have heard of people just sewing it in, or you could quilt it if you want to make sure that it sticks, you know, all stays in place. Okay. Oh, you got another question for me, Adam. Is there another way to fasten interfacing on wax canvases instead of sewing it on? We've done that one. Yeah, we've done that one. Yeah. Sorry, you were looking at me like it was a new one. Okay. Okay, so once you've got your pattern pieces cut out, we've got most of ours pre-done because, you know, it's awkward on camera. What you're going to find is that they're going to have join 2 and then like the other number. So this is A1, this one joins to A2, this is A2, joins to A1, and the little symbols should match up. So you're not overlaying them like this, they're just butting up against each other, and we'll just sellotape them together.
Okay, so would you recommend to cut on the line or along the line?
On the line, yeah, although it's a pretty thin line and it's not really going to make much of a difference if you cut like a tiny bit. Especially if you're cutting all your pattern pieces the same, you should be absolutely fine. Sorry if you just got a major sellotape sound down the microphone. Okay, so stick those guys together.
So we've sort of cheated because all my other pieces I have got here.
Okay, so when you're doing your pattern pieces, you want everything to just line up. Okay, mine's not absolutely perfect, but it's close enough. This is what seam allowances are for, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, you want to attach all of your pattern pieces like this so that then when they're done, the measurement that's on there will be the height at the highest point and then the width at the widest point. So then you can check that your pattern pieces are correct. Hi from Surrey, I have the kit, but I wanted it to be a little bit more structured, so I ordered some vinyl for the bottom panel. Should I still use interfacing? It's really hard. It depends what vinyl you're using, because some of them are like quite sturdy and some are more soft and supple. I definitely still use Decaville light, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't use interfacing.
The other thing, though, we were just talking about earlier, we've got some interfacing that's maybe a little bit slidey to sew with. Somebody recommended using very thin interfacing because it stops it.
Faux leather that's slightly slippery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we've got like slightly stretchy faux leather. Yeah, and somebody on one of the Facebook groups said they've like always fused F220, which is a really thin interfacing, stops the stretch.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really depends on the vinyl you're using. Is it stretchy? Is it heavy structured? Yeah. And if you do use interfacing on it, keep it out of the seams because the vinyl's already going to be quite thick.
Brilliant. Okay. So do we want to start interfacing?
Yeah. Do you want to start interfacing, Debs?
Lovely. My favourite job.
So we're going to do bulk fusing, which some people will love it, some people hate it. But if you want to make sure, basically when you fuse, you can often get a bit of shrinkage. So what we do is we fuse the whole lot, all the fabric that we need, and then all the shrinking's done. And then when you cut your pattern pieces out, they're exactly the right size, which is really helpful. And also it means you don't have to cut the fabric and then cut the interfacing. You just fuse it and then cut it once. Make sure that you remove any of these creases, like iron the fabric first, just get rid of the creases and then fuse. And if you want to be savvy and save your fabric and not fuse more than you need, then just lay out all the pattern pieces on it. Make sure that you only cut out exactly how much fabric you need and then just interface that amount of fabric. Rather than, for example, like fusing a whole half metre, you don't necessarily need to do that. So that will save a bit of fabric. There we go. Okay, so Debbie's going to fuse for us. Have you got
I've got the best job.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm just going to iron my fabric first.
Great. Okay, get rid of those creases.
Yeah.
I used Decaville Light with the vinyl and it worked well. Yeah,
I did too, didn't I, with Esther's bag?
Yeah, we haven't got it with us though.
No.
That one. Yeah, we did one with, which faux leather did you use? The Mora?
Yeah, I used the Mora.
Yeah, which is quite like soft and it's not what I would call structured. So we used Decaville Light on that and it worked really well.
It's equally not, it's not thin though, is it?
No, it's not thin, it's just that it's not, yeah, it's not sturdy.
It's lovely and soft.
Yeah, it's lovely and soft. Yeah, so Debbie, you get to iron.
Yeah, get the best jobs.
So there is a little bit where we'd recommend trimming the interfacing out, but we still block fuse it for hours, and then we just trim a little bit out of the arms, where basically like loads of layers are going to be meeting together, and we just want to have it not too thick. But the point of the interfacing is it makes the fabric sturdier, it makes it much more durable, so it will last longer, like it won't wear through because it's got the interfacing on the back. So if you've ever had like, you know, fabric where it's just like clothing or a bag where it's just like worn through after you've used it for a year or two, the interfacing will make it more durable. So we're using quite a thick one, fast fuse. If you have got the box, it might be thicker than what you're used to. It'll make it your fabric like a lot more structured. It's not like G700, is it?
No, it's thicker than G700, but it's lovely because it fuses fast.
Yeah.
So you're not.
This is why we call it fast fuse. Yeah, it's
Instead
really
of
quick.
8 seconds, so it's just a lot quicker.
If you're a lazy
do.
fuser, it's
Yeah.
great.
I get a bit bored.
You're pointing like you put a question up for me, Adam, but I can't see one.
It's all live streaming side.
Oh, am I supposed to read the side bit? Sorry, I need
It's so tiny.
clarification. Okay, where are I?
Yeah.
Would you iron the Decaville on? Okay, for vinyl, just test it on an off cut, basically. Yeah, I do with Mora faux leather, but I turn the steam off of my iron and I put like the faux leather face down, then the Decaville, and then I cover that with fabric and iron it on. But whatever faux leather or vinyl you're using, just like do a little scrap piece first and just check, because you don't want to like melt the main part that you've got. That would be really upsetting.
Just lost my lining. It's down here, that's why. Just realised my steam is off.
Oh,
which is why.
bonjour. Liz is here to translate, by the way, for anybody that speaks French. Okay. Oh, Paula says she used the heat press for the Decaville and that worked fine. That's good. I would love a heat press. I haven't got space for one in my sewing room, so I've never had one, but they look great because you just, I mean, we used to use them for holiday let ironing years ago, and they're great, just so quick. I'm going to use waterproof fabric for the base, but it is not heavy or stiff, and quilt cotton for the top. Anything special I should use for the base? No, if you are using like the interfacing, then that's fine, because where's our base fabric? Here it is. Our base fabric is a waterproof cotton that's really quite lightweight, but once the fast fuse interfacing is added, and then you've got the Decaville stabilizer as well, it's going to be way more structured. Where is the one that we've got that's got, oh, it's not here.
Is it my red one? It's in the cupboard.
Oh, okay.
I can grab it for you.
Debbie's going to grab the one to show you an example of what it's like when it's done, because with all of the stabilizer.
Sorry, it's actually it's a bit creased. It needs an iron.
Have you been using this?
using it to death?
Okay.
Never ironed it.
So once you've added the interfacing and the stabilizer, it will be a lot more structured like this. And then it's also got the base stabilizer that goes into, so you just end up with a lot more structure. It's not going to be like flimsy, slouchy by the time you've done all that.
Welcome to Ben David.
Do you recommend using a fabric coating after setting interfacing to keep it sealed and clean, such as Scotchgard? So I haven't myself. I use Scotchgard if I'm using like a quilting cotton. When I'm using these water resistant ones, I don't, because they've already got a protection on them. So it depends what fabric you're using, but watch out for Scotchgard, and again, test it on an offcut first, because I used it once on a finished bag And I think it had cork for the base or something, and it just ended up with, you know, like you spray it and it had the spray marks all over it and it kind of ruined the bag. So I was pretty gutted. So I would definitely recommend testing it on an offcut before you do the whole bag.
Teresa just said, can you confirm which interfacing you fused to the black fabric?
To the black?
Yeah.
We're using the fast fuse for all of the fabrics. Yeah, which is on our website, but I can't remember the weight of it, the GSM. Maybe it's over here.
280? Maybe?
No, it's 160 GSM.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're used to using G700 or SF101, for those of you in the States, that's like 90 GSM. So this is almost double, like, the thickness, and it just it's a bit more structured. Makes it a bit more. I don't know what the word is. Like supportive.
Yeah, it's quite sturdy,
Yeah.
isn't it? Mm.
Yeah, quite sturdy.
Right.
Hi, Ruth. Ruth's our friend from Texas. I've just seen that she's on. Hi, Ruth. We will be coming to Texas soon. It's on the cards. I've been saying that to her for like 3 years, but I promise I will.
Drawstring bag.
Oh, drawstring bag. Yep. Okay. Well, yeah, feel free to let us know what size you're making the bag as well, because that'd be quite interesting to hear what size everyone's going for. I designed the bag and then I printed it at 85% during testing, and I was like, oh man, it's such a nice size. I really like it. I wanted to do the normal size because it fits an iPad and stuff, for anybody who has to use one for work, but I prefer the 85%. It's my favourite size.
It's just cute, isn't it?
Cute.
It is cute.
Cute's what we go for.
And if you're a littler person as well, we're big tall people, aren't we? But if you're a smaller person, I think it's quite cute, the little one.
Yeah. Yeah, we're quite large.
So who else has ironed their interfacing the wrong way before? Surely it can't be just us. Not this time, but in previous times. It has happened, hasn't it?
I did it on this
More than
one
once.
like last week. So the interfacing, it didn't stick to the iron, but it stuck to the ironing board. It took me ages to scrape it all off.
Devastating, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to...
the
go back
interfacing
over
as well, I don't know what it is about interfacing, but when you attach it to your fabric, it's like it makes the colours more vibrant or something like that. It's really nice. Yeah, it just makes your fabric look nicer, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But I
it
couldn't
does.
explain why.
And last longer. Got a bit of fluff.
Oh, Cindy says she's working on her third Le Monza right now, which is our clutch wallet. Debbie just cut her first one out.
I haven't cut all the pieces, but I've
cut
just
all of it.
started cutting it, haven't I, this afternoon?
What are you making out?
Because we've got an engagement party next week, so I thought it would be nice to have a new bag.
She's using this one, which she found an offcut of.
Yeah. That one was a very popular autumn fabric.
And what are you using for the top? Is it in the other room?
This.
She wanted oh yeah, that was it. This is why
Are we
she's
allowed to
making
show
one.
everyone?
Because she wanted to use the shiny new faux leather that we've just got in. So that's going to be her flat.
So that will be stocked soon, won't it?
Yeah, Adam's got to take some photos of that for the website this week. But yeah, it's going to look kind of posh for this. Well, it's an engagement party, isn't it?
Yeah. Thought it would be nice to have a new bag. So we've got that metallic faux leather in 3 colours, haven't we?
Yeah. And what did you call that one? Mermaid, I think you called it, didn't you?
Yeah, it's definitely mermaid, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember what they called it, the manufacturers, but I decided mermaid was the name we needed for that one. And we've got a light pink, which we stocked before, so some of you might have seen that before, and berry, haven't we?
Yeah.
Which almost looks like a shiny red wine to me. It's quite nice, a bit more purpley.
Are you using steam to fuse rather than a dry iron? Yes.
Mainly because I left my steam on.
Yeah, but don't you always
But
use
I actually
steam for the
prefer
fast fuse?
Do you know what? I've got a feeling you're not supposed to for fast fuse, but
I
I
always
just
do.
so much prefer ironing with steam. So
When you look at like the instructions for some of them,
I need a bigger ironing board.
like the G700 one that we use here in the UK, it's got such complicated instructions about using a damp cloth and ironing, and yeah, I just stick my steam on and iron it, and it seems to work fine.
As you can tell, we are lazy fusers, which is why we like fast fuse. But I need to do down the other side as well.
Hoof armour. So the fast fuse is attached to all the fabrics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to everything. You could skip it on the zip pocket, like the zip pocket pieces, if you wanted to. It would be absolutely fine without. And what else could you skip it on? Oh, you could probably skip it on the slip pocket, or just fuse one of the slip pocket pieces. That would be absolutely fine too. Yeah, but for us, yeah, we're sticking it to everything. I would definitely recommend having it in the D-ring tabs because they need the strength. Because like when you're pulling on the bag, if it's really heavy, and all of the main panels definitely, yeah.
Cindy's just wanting to confirm.
We're waiting for it to come on.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, is it?
there's a delay.
Are you ironing the stabilizer on before you cut your pieces? Oh, so yeah, we're ironing the interfacing on. So we're doing what's called block fusing, interfacing all of the fabric, and then we'll cut the pattern pieces out. And that way, I don't know if you've ever had it happen where you cut your fabric and then cut your interfacing, and when you fuse it, the interfacing shrinks a little bit, which it usually does. So does the fabric, to be honest. It's, that's why, you pre-wash for clothes and stuff, because stuff shrinks. But if you if you fuse it first, block fuse it, all the shrinking's done, and then when you cut your pattern pieces, they're exactly the size they should be. Whereas if you cut them both out and then fuse it, when you put all that heat on, you will quite often find that your pattern pieces end up a tiny bit smaller, which can be quite annoying.
But the Decaville, that's done later, isn't it?
Yeah, the Decaville stabilizer is done afterwards, yeah.
Sorry, this is going to get messy.
It's all right. Oh yeah, so I was going to chat about some of the tools that we're going to use in the next couple of weeks while we're actually sewing it, which is why I've got them all here. And if we're missing any really good sewing tools, just let us know.
Oh, first of all, Peg Coombs.
Oh, hi Peg.
Hi.
I'm coming again in a couple of weeks. Will you have that faux leather in then?
Yes. I mean, it's in the shop now. That is the thing. If you come and visit us in person, there'll always be a few things that aren't on the website yet because Adam doesn't like setting up the photo box, every week. So he tries to leave it to like once a month. So when we have new products come in, they're here in the shop available to purchase, but they're not on the website yet because we haven't got photos. So yeah, you'll always get like the odd extra thing. Okay, so fabric scissors are an obvious one. I've got some pinking shears as well. I just like pinking shears, but you don't really need them. There's not a lot of curves on. No, there's no curves on this one, but I always have them handy, and I like to cut my zips with them. So I've got those. Oh, am I supposed to go overhead? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Rotary cutter is going to be way easier when we're cutting out the pattern pieces in a minute. If you've never used a rotary cutter for this, I'd recommend trying it. I love it. We are going to be fitting some rivets in this tutorial. You can skip the rivets if you want to, but if you're doing rivets, you're going to need some kind of hole punch. There's different types, but this is the one that I'm going to be using. And you're also going to need something to set the rivets. So I've got the Green Machine, which is the UK's version of Camsnap. Yeah, Camsnap press. Yeah. Again, you can use like smaller, cheaper tools, hand tools, to set rivets if you want, or you can skip the rivets altogether, and that's fine. Sorry, Debs, do you want me to help?
I'm going to cut this bit off for you so you can get cracking.
Oh, okay.
Is that a good idea? Could you just pull that end for me, please? Actually, we should always have a sister available to help. This is why we are twins. If you don't already have one, or some people have stilettos, but basically similar thing, nice little pointy tool. Sorry, Adam, am I supposed to be there or there?
No,
I'm going overhead. This is really handy for like guiding your fabric as close as you can get to the presser foot of your machine. It's just so good. If you've never used one before, I definitely recommend trying one for bag making. Seam ripper, we're all going to need one of them. Oh, I can't even get my top off.
Everybody's best friend.
Yeah, you're going to need a seam ripper because, when did we get it right first time? We're not perfect. An erasable fabric pen's really helpful, especially for like fitting the handles and things. hump jumper. I love my hump jumper. This helps you get the presser foot level when you're sewing over any bumps. And then because it can go in front of the needle as well and keep the presser foot level, you avoid skip stitches. Always helpful to have some fabric glue, or double-sided tape would be even better, which we have got somewhere, not sure where. Fray stop, optional, but I like to use this for my rivet holes, just to make sure. And I've got a little rivet template, placement template, which I love for making sure that my rivets are straight on my straps and that they're right in the middle, that they're centered. So you can get these from various places. Got this one from Calisphere in the UK, but there's somewhere in the US that does them as well. I want to say Pierre or something like that. Somewhere like that. Wonder clips. These are going to be helpful. And yeah, I think that might be about it for the tools. If you are doing the binding option, because you can choose whether to bind this bag or not, don't worry, you don't have to decide until right at the end. But you will probably then want some binding, which some people have really cool types of binding that like have double-sided tape on them and all sorts of things. So check that out.
Paul is asking if we'll get any more of this colour WRC.
This one,
Blush. We have got it on the shelf.
that one, if that's the one you mean, that one's on the shelf. That's on the website. Blush, or if you mean this one,
The pattern one.
yes, we will, but not yet. There's a tiny bit in store for anybody that comes in store, but yeah, we're not getting any more for a couple of months. But yeah, we've got a few colours like the blush. Okay, Debs, you want me to start cutting?
Yeah, if you want to start cutting, I can get the rest interfaced.
Thomas Beckett says, does anyone mark the lines on the fabric? I like chalk.
Yeah,
Because we've got the black, I did think the chalk would be better in this instance.
I'm also going to be using, because we're interfacing it, the interfacing, you can use like a normal pen on the back. Sometimes I'll even go with biro. I know you shouldn't use biro in your sewing room, but you know, sometimes.
Every now and then.
Every now and then. Jess of Oakley Roots will be like, no, I remember her saying in a video, you never ever have a biro in your sewing room, because just in case. And I was like, yeah, she's right. But it works really well on the back. So you just have to be very careful never to like get it anywhere near the front of your fabric. Okay, so when you are ready to start cutting, grab your cutting chart, which is just, oh, hang on. Here he is.
Got it.
Okay. So we're going to start with the lining, because Debbie did the lining fabric first. So you just want to find your lining fabric here on the cutting chart. You have got pattern pieces D, E and F, so you want to grab those ones. If they're shaded, like E and F are, that means they're rectangles. You can just go ahead and cut them out with a quilting ruler. So that's what I'm going to do first, is cut out those ones. And of course I have scissors covered. No, I've covered the measurements, and then of course I need them.
Of course. Just peel them off.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The only problem with YouTube is having to cover up all the measurements.
Oh, that's funny. The ink's moved. Okay. Okay. Oh, yes. So the slip pocket and zip pocket are the same sizes, and they are 6 inches wide. So you can cut them really easy with a quilting ruler. Sometimes you'll notice in my patterns that things are exactly 6 inches wide, and there's a reason. It's because your quilting ruler is 6 inches wide. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is chop off. Are we on overhead now, Adam?
We can be.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm going to chop off the selvage bit here to make sure that I don't accidentally end up with that on a pattern piece, because I have done that before.
We've all been there.
I'd also recommend changing your rotary blade if you haven't done it recently. Okay, so I've got a nice clean edge to start from. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out the zip pocket and slip pocket pieces. Adam, can you see the bottom? I need to move up a bit. Can you see me here?
I should put it now.
Well, I can, but I'm watching myself from 20 seconds ago, so it's hard to know. And when I'm seeing my head.
You're good though.
Okay.
Might have to fix that for next week.
So I'm just going to start with the nice, easy slip and zip pocket pieces. So for me, this is the easiest way to cut out my pattern pieces. I don't even, if there's rectangles, I don't necessarily mark it. I just go ahead and cut it out.
So I don't know if iron steam noise counts as ASMR. Hopefully.
Oh, Ruth Allen.
Hi, Ruth.
Biro?
Oh no.
Oh, it's
that not an
Biro an
American
English
word?
thing. Sorry. Oh, it must be a brand then.
Yeah, Biro's a brand.
Right, okay. This is like Hoover's. Yeah, okay, so a biro is just like a ballpoint black pen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the most bog standard pen that you would use in school and work and everywhere.
I think they invented the ballpoint pen.
Did they?
Yeah,
That might be why
They
it's...
invented it like decades ago, but the designs never changed.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, it's a super boring pen, but, you know, if you got it on the right side of your fabric, it's not coming out.
They are fantastic, you know,
I've got a little bit of
in school.
fluff going on here because I was cutting out navy corduroy earlier for a prototype bag. Okay, I've got
the
my
next pattern.
Yeah, I'm working on a couple. I keep getting distracted, and now I've got so many half-done patterns.
Shelley wants to know, what is your cutting mat made of?
Ooh,
This was a custom one that we ordered for our old cutting table.
yeah, I don't know, but I got to admit,
I love this one.
I prefer this one, but it's not big enough for a lot of things. But it's this weird folding one from Ulfa. But yeah, this, I don't know what this is made of, but I don't like it as much.
It doesn't peel, does it?
No.
When you cut into it, it does leave the marks behind.
But we got it because it doesn't reflect light, so it's really good for YouTube videos. Okay, that's all my pocket pieces. Now I need my pattern piece D. Debs, are you able to just pass that over?
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay.
Does anybody else do sewing with their family? Because one of our lovely customers was saying the other day that her husband cuts out the pieces for her, which is fantastic. Just wondered if anybody else does the same. I've been recommending that to other couples who come in the shop.
Yeah, I wish I could get Adam. Adam, do you want to cut out all my pattern pieces for me?
I haven't got time to do my own sewing project.
Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to create a straight edge here so that then I've got a perfect like corner. Sorry, Adam, am I knocking your camera?
It's all right, it's okay now.
Okay. And then when I start with my pattern piece, I know everybody's going to have a different way of doing this. This is how I like to do it. You're going to have to let me know if I'm not in the overhead, Adam. Then I've already got like a perfect corner to start with, which just makes things easier. And I tend to use whatever I've got lying around. Today it's going to be a box of chalks as a pattern weight. Sometimes it's my phone or whatever else I've got lying around. Oh, right.
Ruth says she needs to order a twin sister.
You do.
Yes, you do.
It's great.
Very handy.
Sometimes Debbie does cut out my pattern pieces. It's awesome.
Every now and then, yeah.
I'm going to say this wrong, but Volute Cook. Hi, what interfacing would you recommend for corduroy?
Oh, corduroy, I'd go light. Something like, if you're in the UK, there's one called Vilene F220. That's like really, really lightweight. I wouldn't go for anything thicker than that because corduroy is really thick on its own. But basically, you just want to stop the corduroy from like stretching because boy, does it stretch a lot. Like, or most of them do anyway. Okay, so then I don't actually cut on the fold, by the way. For anybody that does cut on the fold, I I'm not good at cutting on the fold. So what I do is I do the half pattern piece, I mark the edge of it, and then I just flip it over. I hope I'm not the only person that does this.
Well, you've got me into doing it as well, and actually, if you use the quilting ruler then to cut it, you can't really go wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
And for really thick materials, it can actually add in. Make the panel bigger, can't it?
That is what worries me. So I actually just kind of mark the corners of my pattern piece. So I've just kind of marked all of the corners, and then I use a quilting ruler for all of it. I find this so much easier for accuracy, and also then I can make sure that this line is straight because I can check it against the edge here. So sorry about this, you're about to see my head. I'm coming in. Might have to change from overhead, Adam. And then you've got to be careful of your quilting ruler slipping. You can get these really grippy little sticker things from Amazon, which I've been meaning to get since I changed my ruler, and I keep forgetting, but it stops it from slipping on the fabric. So like when I'm doing this, I'm just checking that it's lined up here. And then your pattern pieces will be completely square.
A lot of people agree with you, Jo.
Oh, what, they cut like this too?
They fold.
Yeah. I mean, I do the cut and fold on the pattern piece because some people love to cut and fold, and because it uses half the paper. But I figure if you want to, you can print two, and then you can just flip one over and stick them together, and then you've got your full pattern piece. So this way, you've got the option to do it either way.
I've got fluff everywhere.
Sorry, is that my corduroy fluff?
No, I think this might be my just bits and pieces.
I'm going to need that pair of scissors, Debs.
There you go.
Have you got another pair?
Yep.
Thanks. Other than all the pairs that are sat behind us on the shelf, but I don't want to open a new one.
I do love these Guggenheims though. These were recommended by Ruth, weren't they? They're fantastic.
Yeah, Ruth brought these over. Our friend Ruth, who's on, brought these over for us when we saw her, and oh, they're just amazing. I'm pretty sure Ruth said they're made in Texas, or the factory's in Texas. So if you're in America, go ahead. And then we've just started stocking them here.
A. Murray just asking, is there a right and wrong side to the lining and base fabric? Struggling to see a difference.
A right and wrong side to the lining base fabric. Oh, yeah. If I'm going to be honest, I can never tell. There is supposed to be, but with all of these canvases, I've just never worried about it, and I've just chosen whichever side I fancy and then fused the interfacing to the other side.
Me too, yeah.
Because I personally don't think there's a difference at all, and yeah. I was told once that there's always a right and wrong, but yeah, some fabrics you just can't tell. Make sure that you mark the top of your pattern piece, okay, because it's like all the writing's the right way up, so then you know which way's the top. And the little arms are at the top and the big arms are at the bottom. And it's just really important to make sure that you mark the top, because later on you do not want to attach it the wrong way, because I've already done that once, and I ended up with my zip pocket upside down on one of the prototypes, and I was just kind of in that place where I thought, I don't want to redo it, I don't want to take the whole bag apart to redo it, so I just have an upside down pocket. But it's better if you can avoid that. So little arms at the top. Right, that's one of them. Also, what I would recommend doing is writing the pattern piece letter on the back, so you know what it is when you come to it later. It will make life easier.
Right, I think we're finished with the iron, aren't we?
Yeah?
No, we'll need it for the Decaville.
Okay.
Second thoughts.
Okay, I've got to cut, using my pen. Okay, we'll go back to the overhead, and I will go ahead and cut this one.
Elaine Alton says that she struggles with keeping the ruler still.
Yeah, so you get these little stickers from Amazon, and they are like, not like sandpaper, but like they've got that texture that means that they grip really well. And you stick them on the back of your quilting ruler and it makes such a difference.
Maybe we should add them to the shop.
Yeah, or a link somewhere at least. Yeah. You've just told me, Adam, I'm not allowed to order new products, so.
But they're tiny little things, aren't they?
That's what I'd say. Okay. This is the last of the lining. And what you can do as well is just tick off as you go, so you know you've done those bits and you don't end up cutting them twice. Debs, are you looking for something to do?
I am.
Well,
Yeah.
you could start cutting some of the exterior if you like. Or
I'll tell you what, I could just cut the stabilisers, couldn't I? If I moved the iron.
you can cut the stabilisers. That's a good idea.
We have actually got pre-cut the base stabiliser, haven't we? Because we cut that one out specifically.
Yeah, so if you got the kit, most of the kits, not all of them, because some of them we were sending out earlier. So if you're international, you'll probably have Peltex in your kit for the base. But then for some of the UK ones, we got this new stabiliser in the meantime, and we were like, oh, let's put this in and see what people think.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
It's so structured, like really, really stiff. Like Peltex is absolutely fine. That's what we've always used for bag bases. But this stuff is like solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Peltex, you know, which is really firm. That's what I've got in the bottom of my bag at the moment. But I do love this because it is ultra firm, literally.
So we thought, well, we'll put it in and see what people think of it and get a bit of feedback. So you might have this other one. It's called S133. And yeah, boy, is it thick.
We sell it on our store, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one we went to like an open day with one of our suppliers and they said, oh, have you tried this? Oh, well, yeah, we were like, that is good stuff. Especially if you've got a bag that's going to carry a lot of weight.
Now we need 2 of each of these, don't we? And there was a specific way to cut these, wasn't there? So I think we do an H and then a G next to it.
Yeah, yeah. With the Decaville light, try and use as little as possible and not have loads of little offcuts. What does everyone do with the offcuts that they have from like their stabilizers, like the tiny little bits? Have you found anything useful to do with them?
They can be good for the like behind magnetic snaps and things, can't they?
Yeah, I prefer to use foam and things for that, but yeah. Oh, Debbie's stolen my pen.
I'll have, yeah.
Let me find another one. That's okay. you
In the
can have
top
that one.
drawer there.
I'll grab one from over here.
It's a good thing about running a sewing shop, isn't there?
You've always got what you need.
Endless supplies.
Yeah.
Okay,
Gonna do a
D
very rough
top. So that's all of our linings done. I'm just going to write all of my letters on the back so that I know what they are come next week when we actually start sewing this. Okay, lining aside.
And you can just put my base stabiliser over there, thank you.
So because we block fused a much bigger piece, now I've got this ready for my next bag. So that's what I tend to do. I tend to like make 2 or 3 bags, especially when I'm making prototypes of like the same fabric combinations. So that's why block fusing a bigger piece works for me. But if you're not, then just make sure you only cut the piece of fabric that you need and yeah, only fuse the amount that you need and then you won't end up with extra. Oh, have you? Like, yes, I keep mine back for rivets or magnetic snaps. I like to add rivets on top of my slip pockets on the lining. Always need more stabilizer there. Yeah, I've started doing that and I really like it. Just Yeah, because the slip pockets get a lot of wear and tear, don't they, Debbie?
Yes, they do.
Debbie recently tore one of her slip pockets. What did you do? Did you get it caught on something?
I can't even remember, but but then my bags get used to death, you know.
Yeah, she's a great bag tester because she really tests them out. Okay, I'm going to start on the exterior.
Somebody's saying they really appreciate the stabilizer comparison chart in the pattern.
Oh, yes, that's because there's so many different brand names and things like that. So we try to do that in each of our patterns, like give you different brand names of where you're going to get them from, because every continent's got different ones. Yeah, and if you ever come into our shop, there is a interfacing and stabilizer pack that shows like each interfacing fused to the same fabric, so you can see what the difference is. That's quite helpful. Okay, so we're going to cut the exterior top now. Just make sure you get your fabric the right way up. It's not obvious, but there is a right way up. So top panel A. So when you're choosing your fabrics, if you're not using the kit, you can have a look on page 4. I'm almost certain it's page 4, and it will have like a photo. It'll have numerous photos of the bag, and then it'll have an arrow saying this is the top panel, that's the bottom panel, that's that piece. And then when you're choosing your fabrics and you're cutting them out,
I'll bring it up.
oh yeah, you can bring it up, Adam.
Technology, it's amazing.
Then it will tell you like the top panel, and then you know which fabric you want to use, because you're like, that's the fabric I want for that panel, and that's the fabric I want for that panel. So top panel A. Am I still on the screen, or are you doing something else?
Back.
Okay, right. When you're doing A, don't cut out the handle placement yet. That's for later on in the pattern. So just ignore this little dash line for now. Okay, I'm going to cut 2 of these out. I'm just going to get a straight edge first.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I used my pen on the wrong side of the decaville, and I'm just rubbing it off as I go, so it's making it very difficult to see where I'm supposed to cut.
This is the rulers that I got from Amazon a long time ago, and just realised recently an inch isn't an inch on it. It's just got some random measurement.
Do you want this one?
No, that's fine. You keep that one. I'm going to make myself some straight edges.
Somebody said they're going to visit our shop next time they're in Cornwall.
Yeah, come to Cornwall. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we absolutely love it down here. But
maybe not right now, because it's a bit windy and wet. Although actually it's supposed to be dry a little bit now. You're right, Deb.
Sorry, I've got one of the kids has got a flat tire on their bike.
Life happens.
It does.
Brenda E says, so much thought goes into your pattern making them easy to follow.
Aww, that's really nice to hear. Yeah, that's what we're aiming for. Making it as easy and fun as possible. So we normally go through quite a few prototypes, because we're just trying to make it fun to make, and not so there's no annoying parts.
When we did Bag of the Month Club last year, the lady who runs it, Mrs. H, she said we had the nicest customers.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Although
we do have the nice customers. Yeah. Do you want me to go overhead on this, Adam? I don't know where you want me.
Yeah, go on then.
Okay, so this is my top panel piece, and yeah, I'm doing the same again, where I just do draw around the corners and then cut it out. So I don't go too close to the corners, because I don't want to end up cutting past it. So I just end up finishing it off with scissors. But this is my preferred way. Everybody's got their preference, haven't they? But this is how I've been enjoying it recently.
All right. I'm going to do this on the right side of the decaville this time, so my pen doesn't rub off. Just glad Adam doesn't have me on an overhead, so you can't see my slightly dodgy cutting.
Well, Susan Jennings said she's going to visit the shop next week.
Oh, are you?
Awesome. Cornwall's better when it's quieter.
It is better when it's quieter. Oh, yes. May and June's my absolute favourite, because it's quite quiet still. It's not mental yet. And it tends to be quite sunny. But it's quite mild at the moment. It's not cold. Actually, yeah, there's no rain next week, I don't think. Which is great. For anybody that's not been to Cornwall, you might have seen it on TV shows. It's quite like a famous part of the world. It's in
Of the UK, I suppose.
yeah, it's in a few. Well, we get a lot of German visitors as well, because it's like loads of German TV shows are filmed here as well. And if you've ever watched Poldark, which is like quite a big show, that's based here. There's tons of
Well, they filmed like Mission Impossible, James Bond. That's all been filmed in Cornwall.
There's a lot of movies and stuff that get filmed here because of all the beaches and beautiful scenery and stuff.
And Doc Martin, of course.
Oh yeah, but it does make
not
it
forget him.
very busy.
You're getting some nice compliments, Jo.
Ah,
Ruth's saying that she compared our bags to others and they're really good.
oh, thanks. There are some amazing designers out there at the moment, though. There's one I really want to make. It's called the Scotty bag, and I want to say it's by Core Threads, but I'm not absolutely certain. I need to check, but it looks amazing. There's some really good ones out there.
You just made one for the bag of the month as well, didn't you?
Yeah, that was fun. The Lynn's handmade one. She's really good.
So Wanda, because she's a quilter, but saw one of our tutorials, and now makes bags as well.
Oh, there's a lot of quilters who make bags. It's great. It's like a really interchangeable one. I still haven't finished my first quilt that I started 18 months ago, but I do like little bits of it.
Logan says hi, by the way, Debs.
Hi, Logan. That's great, because he got a flat tyre on the way home. He's fine.
So you
On his
know he's
bike.
safe.
That's on his push bike. Yeah.
So another way, the reason that we put the measurements for each pattern piece, like the rectangular measurements on the cutting chart, is because I actually really like cutting my pattern pieces out like this. So you cut the rectangle out first, just the rectangle.
Oh, Thomas Beckett also loves Doc Martin.
Ah, not just Debbie. And then what you can do is just place the pattern piece on top and just cut out the other pieces. And I don't know why, but I love doing it this way. So I guess it's because it makes sure that my pattern piece is totally square.
It's probably quicker as well, actually, than what I'm doing.
Bridget Young's praising you as well, Jo.
Oh,
Said it's like having a friend holding your hand when you're following Jo's videos.
oh,
so lovely.
that's because Adam cuts out all the bits where I'm struggling. He's really good at video editing, really good. I'm always a bit like, some days Adam goes, oh, no, you're not in the mood for a video today. And do it tomorrow. I'm like, it's so scary. I look at Jess Oakboots and I think, I wonder if she's like that all the time, because she comes across just like it's such a natural talent for her, and I'm like, I'm so jealous. But maybe
so lovely and happy.
Maybe she feels the same and it's not like that every day, but she just comes across so positive and encouraging, and I love watching her videos. That's what we want in a video. Okay, top panel cut. That's A. So this is where, in the preparation section, we mentioned trimming out the interfacing. So these arms here, let me show you on the back. Right. These arms are going to end up here, where you've got like the zip, the top arm, the bottom arm, and the D-ring, and you kind of end up with quite a lot coming together. And if you're on a domestic sewing machine, you're going to notice it. So what you definitely want to do if you're on a domestic machine is just trim 1/2 inch of interfacing out of these arms. So you should just be able to grab it and then just snip out that little bit there, and do that on the top and bottom, and it will make a difference. It will really make it easier on a domestic machine. If you're on an industrial, it's not such a worry, but it does get bulky in that one seam. So like that. What do people do with their cute little offcuts and things? Any suggestions? Because, you end up with quite a few.
Somebody did a nice little purse thing, didn't they? Did you see that little coin purse?
Yeah, I did see one on the group. Yeah, on the Facebook group.
Yeah.
this is another reason I love the fast fuse. It stays stuck, but then when you need to peel it back, it doesn't, it's not like melted into the fabric, so I can just trim a little bit out. Ta-da! Oh, and that's A. Okay. So if you got the kit, you're going to have a good amount of fabric left for like a feature thing. Yeah, depends what you want to make. If you wanted to make something like a Lamonza, the wallet pattern we do, I think you could do, you should be able to do that, shouldn't you? For the exterior.
Brenda uses off-cut for zip ends.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, yeah, that is a good idea because they're about the right size. So you'll probably make 2 out of that. Yeah.
So shall I get my Decaville?
Do you want to get fusing, Debs?
Yeah.
So once your pattern pieces are all cut out, you fuse the Decaville. So make sure that you've got the right pattern pieces because the top and bottom are different. The bottom has longer arms. Yeah. Perfect. So you want to make sure it's centered. It should be 1/2 inch in from every edge, and then you go ahead and fuse that centered, and that's what's going to give the bag its body.
So Thomas Beckett, he's obviously a leather guy. Talk about skiving leather and using contact cement. I approve.
Oh yeah, Adam likes that.
Adam's a leather guy.
Adam loves leather. Although you don't like skiving, do you? But I think that's because you don't have a good enough skiving.
On certain leather it works, which I don't always use that sort of thick leather. But I made a Zalmora out of leather, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah. Adam definitely approves. He loves leather. That's her jam, isn't it?
Just about prototyping a new leather pattern for next year, actually.
Yeah. He Adam designed these no-sew leather patterns that some of you might have seen that like rivet together. They've got like when you construct them, they go like that, and then you rivet through. They look like fingers, don't they? But he did 3 patterns: the crossbody, the clutch, and the tote.
I've only got a clutch left.
I've only got a clutch left.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I'm all done with those. I'm not doing any more." And then
There's been a lot of people asking for another one.
yeah, we've had a few people asking for another one, and he's caved, and he's doing a mini backpack. So that should be next year. Ooh.
I just need a hiking backpack. That's what I'm looking for at the moment.
I think the baby backpack might work for that.
Yeah, maybe if you
'Cause,
modify it.
Yeah, because it's got so many pockets and things for all of your like safety stuff. Debbie wants to go to, is it Madeira?
Yeah, Madeira.
Debbie
Dying
loves
to go to
walking.
Madeira.
Took me on the longest walk the other day. It was no fun. It's not not my jam.
Who Farmer. What leather machine do you use, Adam? So it's a Sailrite fabricator.
He loves his Zalmora fabricator.
I've done a couple of videos on our YouTube channel about using it. It is an amazing machine.
If you're in the UK, it's probably not going to be for you because he had to buy it from Indiana in America. And when he bought it at the time, the dollar and pound were in like a really weird state where it was like really, really cheap for us to get dollars. I can't remember why. It was a few years ago, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but it cost us, £500 to import it. But because of the exchange rate, it was okay to do.
Yeah, so when you buy something like that from America, it costs you a fortune in, exchange, like import fees and stuff. But because the pound was so strong at the time, it was really okay. But now it's not. Now it costs you like an absolute fortune.
It's an awesome machine.
Yeah, you love it, don't you?
Harriet's asking about the Lamonza.
Oh, yeah.
Asked me to make a Lamonza completely out of cork. Doesn't want card slots. Do you think I can do it with cork?
Oh, so
All the exterior or the lining as well?
Yeah, is that the lining as well? Because if it's the lining as well,
I would have thought exterior only. Surely.
yeah, for the exterior it should be okay.
The only thing, cork can split on really tight seams.
Yeah, it can with time.
Especially with cheap cork.
The other thing I was thinking, well, even when I get good cork, sometimes it's a little bit difficult. The wings on the Lamonza, like when it opens up, it's got like these wings on the inside, and they are a lot easier to do from like non-cork material.
I wonder if people are wondering what the Zalmora is.
Yeah, Saya Swag did, am I pronouncing that right? Saya Swag did a sew along, didn't she, with her sister, funnily enough, as well. And she did the Zalmora, which is why more of them are popping up at the moment.
Oh, shall I put that over there?
There you go. I'll show it on screen.
Oh, thanks, Adam. Nice having you here to do all these little things.
It's a nice little party bag clutch, isn't it?
One point is, if you don't want a base seam, there's some little instructions on the pattern pieces about it. So you have to pay attention to the base exterior and the stabilizer that goes with it. Because in the pattern, it's got a seam, which is great, especially if you have a directional print, because you want it to be facing up on both sides, so you need that seam. But if you decide like you really hate the seam for whatever reason, you don't want it, then there is the option to do it, but you just need to like watch out as you're cutting this base piece and the base stabilizer. You need to make a couple of adjustments. And then in the pattern, it will let you know when you crop up on that.
Oh, how it's going to do the wings out of the lining.
Oh yeah, good
Brilliant.
decision, yeah.
Yeah.
The Zalmora like comes together in a way you don't expect at the end. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. I did it because I've done some I've tried to sew some wallets before, and to be honest, I've kind of not even got them finished because I've just got so impatient with the number of pieces, because wallets have a lot of pieces, you know, they have to. Yeah, it's what's slowing me down on my baby backpack pattern. It's got so many pieces because of all the bottle pockets and the white pockets, and there's just so many, isn't there?
Yeah.
So I'm only doing like one prototype every 6 months, and it's just taking me ages. And I do actually have my next one cut out, and I need to get on with it.
We've had one of our friends has been testing it with a newborn baby for the past like 6 months.
Yeah, more than that actually, I think. Yeah.
It's held up really well, hasn't it?
Yeah, so
It's going strong.
that was helpful that we managed to find a friend was having a baby at that exact time, and yeah, they've been testing it out and letting us know if there's any issues with the pattern. We have friends that we get to like wear our bags to death so that we can figure out what's wrong with them.
One of our best friend, Katie, she's a bag destroyer.
Oh, she's great. Yeah.
If it can survive Katie, it will survive the end of the world.
We've learned many things from Katie to make sure the bags are really, really durable.
In fact, our next pattern is linked to travelling, isn't it? And she's taken it to Australia.
Yeah. To test it out for us.
So yeah.
Yeah, she's very good at that. Because if you're making bags to sell, you kind of want to know that they're not going to fall apart on you.
Yeah, even with heavy-handed people.
B.
Oh, sorry, yeah, no good, because I'm going to...
Okay, well, you're going to have to write
cover
B
it
on
up
top
anyway.
of the Decaville once you've done that. Okay, so where's my cutting chart? Everything's all over the place. Hopefully your sewing room is just as messy. That would make me feel better. Okay, I'm using the wrong pen. It keeps disappearing because it's a disappearing pen. I've done the top, I've done that. I just need to do the D-ring tabs. What colour do we want them out of? Do we want them out of the floral or the black?
I'll be tempted to go black.
Yeah? I think we can cut them out of this.
Yeah, love it when you can use an offcut.
Yeah, we've got an offcut. We can use that.
Susan has just joined late. You were saying time change. It's the fast fuse out on your outside pieces before cutting.
Yeah. So we're not going to cut any fabric until it's all fused. So we've gone ahead and fused everything and then cut it. Yeah, except if you want to, you could skip the interfacing on the zip pocket and the slip pocket, and that would be fine.
The only thing is, aren't we cutting this out the wings?
Oh yes, we are. Yeah.
So we do need to remember just to cut the interfacing out the wings. So I'll do that in a minute.
Who Farmer, is the Decaville light stabilised in the kit Vilene?
Yes.
It is, isn't it?
Vilene make Decaville light, but Vilene are a little bit confusing because they have different names. Sometimes they're called Vlaliseline or something like that. and sometimes they're called Vilene.
Yeah, I don't know if it's...
I don't know if it's like the German name of their company and then the English name, but they make Decaville Light, Decaville Heavy, and then a load of other stuff that we use.
Susan again, and can we put on an outside pocket with a zip?
Oh, yeah.
Slip pocket.
That was something I'd meant to, mention. Yeah, I would think that a slip pocket would be the easiest, but I was trying to think about the easiest way to do it.
I find these on so well, they don't want to come off.
I mean, you could do it so that you had one here, but then it's only going to be, it's not going to be like tall enough really. So
You have a pocket in between the handles, you know, with that lining pocket method that you do.
like there.
Just in with the lining inside the bag.
Yeah, but then you're going to need it to go through both layers. So
There's a reason why
like the desk or so. Yeah.
there's a reason why we didn't put it in the pattern, because it's just
We're trying to make it like an ambitious beginner pattern, and if you put it in a pocket, it's going to be more complicated. But yeah, you could do one a bit like the desk or so, where it's kind of then slips inside there, and then that would work between the handles. But you just need to plan it out a bit before you go for it.
we've got somebody from New Zealand just joined in.
Hello.
Oh, wow, what time is it in New Zealand?
Yeah, I'm surprised you're awake. I don't know what time it is, but
Apparently, Bag Destroyer has become a title of honour.
oh. We've got a friend who's just moving back to New Zealand. I just got the invite today for her goodbye party. So I don't blame her, because if I could move to New Zealand, I probably would too. Sounds amazing. Looks amazing.
Right, I think that's all the ironing done, isn't it?
So we're trimming the interfacing out of the arms so that it's going to have the bulk reduced on the arms where all of the layers meet, in case you've only just joined us. The only thing that you're not going to fuse now is the base stabilizer, because we put that in at the very end, and if you put it in earlier, you're just going to have like a nightmare trying to turn the pocket out through, turn the bag out through the pocket. So definitely add that at the end. It's so much easier that way. Okay, so what else have we got to cut out? We've got top and bottom panels, D-rings. You can choose your grab handles whether you want to do them out of fabric, but if you do, you want like a faux leather or a cork, because it's going to have raw edges on like the inside. So it's totally up to you. There's instructions for that, but we're going to do ours out of webbing instead, so we don't need to cut that pattern piece. Lining's all cut, stabilizers are all cut. Then we just got the preparation for our notions to prepare. So that is piping, binding if you're using the binding method, but you can decide that later if you want. If you're not sure whether you want to bind or not, wait until we're at the end, and you can basically try to do the non-binding method. And if you're like, wow, this is faffy, I don't want to do this, then you can just change to the binding method, that's fine. Or if you are using really thick fabrics, I would recommend just binding, because it's a lot easier with thick fabrics. Yeah. Have you done both methods?
No, I hate binding, so I've done both of mine the other way.
Okay.
But having said that, somebody else pointed out that all the binding is straight, so
It is all
it's
straight.
actually really easy. So yeah, but I haven't tried it, so I'm not going to sell it.
And binding does give it like a bit more structure on the corners, which is quite nice. So yeah, there's pros and cons to both, but some people hate binding, so we've given you the option for both. And I think in this we'll probably do the non-binding method, because it's, I don't know, I was going to say because it's like more faffy and we want to show it to you, but it is shown in the full video tutorial, so maybe we should do the binding method. And then you've got both.
And that'll make Debbie do binding.
I was going to say, she didn't tell me this before I agreed to do the sew along.
Debbie's doing the show.
If I've disappeared on week 3, there's a reason.
Okay, so we've got all of our pattern pieces cut out, we've got all of our notions prepared. If you have a badge, like a logo badge or a handmade badge or something that you want to fit, you could fit that now, but I'd probably wait till my panels are constructed and then you know exactly where you want them. If you are using piping, if this is your first time using piping, this is the time to use it. It's super easy, it's just one straight edge. It's going to go, you're going to have to change to overhead, Adam.
You say that, but I did do it on the faux leather one, and I found it a lot more difficult because it kept moving.
Oh, okay. So it's going to go along there, and then basically your bottom panel is going to be there, and you can see it just adds that little extra touch of something cool, whereas without it, it's just going to look like that. So it depends on what you prefer.
We're getting some comments about difficulties of getting bag making supplies. Apparently New Zealand's a challenge, and someone's now saying Italy is a bit of a challenge, which is funny because that's where we get the fast fuse from.
Yes, it is.
But Italy's apparently a bit of a challenge.
To be fair, getting hold of the fast fuse is a challenge.
Yeah, that's why it's always out of stock. Because I was waiting.
Italy, it would be worth checking out cereal bag makers in Belgium because it's easier for you guys in the EU to buy from other EU companies. And cereal bag makers is great, and she stocks every bag making thing you could ever want. She's really great. It's run by Anne. She doesn't do as many patterns nowadays, but she's got some really cool patterns from a few years ago. I always wanted to make her Roxy wallet, but I haven't done it yet. So yeah, check her out if you're in the EU. And if you're in New Zealand, I don't know if you guys can buy from Australia, but if you can, check out Sunkiss Melbourne because her stuff is really cool.
Yeah, we do ship abroad, don't we? It gets a bit more complicated with the EU, but I've sent a parcel to New Zealand recently.
Yeah, so we can ship to the New Zealand, but it takes 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah, and obviously it costs a bit more. I think it's like £15 in postage. So you've got to kind of make your order more worthwhile.
It's one reason why we started selling supplies, isn't it? Because we couldn't get hold of it.
Yeah.
So we thought if we buy in bulk, we can use it, and then we can sell it on, and then
it has made it easier for us to get hold of stuff. Sunkiss Melbourne in Australia. Oh my goodness, her wax canvas is so nice, and she's got a lot of cool stabilizers, like sticky ones that I'd love to stock, but we can't stock everything. So
yeah, we're only a little business, aren't we?
Okay, so that is everything done for preparation, I think.
I did wonder whether we should do the strap today because it's actually nice and easy.
What time are we at? 6:15. We could do. Oh yeah, so the other note in the preparation section, because we're doing like this box corner thing, right? If you're not doing the binding method, we're doing, it's kind of like a box corner, but it's a bit more complicated. You need to make sure that you're paying attention to your seam allowances, because if you stray and do like a 1/4 inch here or whatever and change it, your box corners won't necessarily fit together perfectly. So just watch out for that in this pattern, that you need to keep them all the same. Yeah.
Yep. Nancy just mentioned that she likes using the 1 inch fold over elastic for binding.
Yeah, some people love it. I do not get on with it. Some people love fold over elastic. And then in America, you guys seem to have this cool stuff that like peels off and then sticks on. That's cool. I've ended up using polyester canvas because it just doesn't move at all. And the fold over elastic, I just couldn't stop it moving, and it was stressing me out.
Few farmers asked about the template you showed at the beginning for the handles.
Oh yeah, so
you can show again and where to get it as well.
So it's on the
piece A, isn't it?
Where is it gone? All of our pattern pieces are all over the place.
It might be the acrylic template.
Oh, do you mean the rivet template? Yes.
I would assume so.
This one, because you put this onto your like handles when you're doing the, and it has like 1/4 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inch.
You're showing the overhead.
Oh yeah, okay, that's even better. Right, so you imagine that you've got your handles on and you want to put your rivets in a specific place, then you line it up with your strap, and then you can fit your rivets, and then when you do them on the other side, you just make sure you know which holes you've used, and then your rivets will match perfectly, and they'll be perfectly centered on the strap. So this is really cool. This is from Callosphere in the UK, which is KALLOSPHERE. They make them. And then there was somebody in the US, and I think it was Pierre, like PIERRE. I'm pretty sure that's what they were called, that makes them in the US, but I haven't seen them for a while advertised, so I'm not sure. Definitely, Callosphere do ship internationally anyway.
They make the acrylic templates for your patterns as well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, love them. Love their templates. So, Debs, do you just want to make the strap quickly?
Yep, should we do that?
You just want to skip
a bit of fast fuse in your hair.
Thanks.
So, I'll get that. Yeah.
Okay.
So the strap is relatively quick because we're using webbing.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought maybe that'd be good to do in the preparation. And it is nice when your strap is finished before you finish your bag.
Because if you finish your bag and never get around to the strap, then it's just frustrating.
Yep. We need a lighter, don't we?
So if you're using nylon webbing like we are, this is like a nylon-y polyester one, then you want to just melt the end of the strap because it will stop it from fraying. So that's really handy. If you're using cotton, you can do like a zigzag stitch on the end of it because we're going to hide the end anyway. So, right, so we'll just do the crossbody strap and then, yeah, you're right. Then next week we can concentrate on sewing. Yeah.
So here's a question, Jo. Mm-hmm. When I rivet press, the outline of the press stays on my fabric. Is there any advice on how not to do that? That's probably, might be adjusting that maybe.
Yeah, so
Never had that
Correct
problem.
eyes.
is this under the camera, Adam?
Can do.
So it could be what's worth checking. Am I? Yeah. Is I really thought I was going to go further. This screw here is just checking whether you can like raise it up a little bit. So you just undo it so it comes a little bit higher up, and then that way it stops your handle going down past a certain point basically, and that might help if it's pressing too hard and then it's pressing into your fabric as well. Worth a try. What I would say with these guys is just keep testing it, practicing on offcuts until you've got like the technique down and you figured out your press because some of them are slightly different. And I'd also recommend with the dies using one size up. So we have 9mm face rivets, but I always use a 10mm die because then you just make sure that you don't end up with the impression because if it's the exact same size, and it's not in perfectly, you end up like denting your rivet, which is super frustrating. And then you have to get your husband to come and take it out for you. You don't really, but
She just noticed Jo has some sort of rubber on her die press. I was just wondering, that little bit of rubber, does it affect it? It perhaps makes it, it helps to hold the rivet straight, doesn't it, without putting too much pressure on the fabric.
do you not have this bit here? Is that what we mean?
Yeah. They don't all have that, do they?
Do they not?
No,
Oh,
we've
I
got
just
some that don't
assumed.
have it.
Okay, so yeah, that might be the difference. This is all the ones I've used have. Well, Adam says we've got another one that doesn't, but the ones I've used have this on, and yeah, that probably does make a difference. Check out the trimming shop if you're in the UK because they stock the best stuff, or Cam Snaps if you're in the USA. I'm pretty sure they're USA. They might be Canadian. Like, I'm never 100% sure where businesses are based.
Hoof Armour, which turns out she's called Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
Press come with a wrap on the handle.
Yes.
It comes with the green machine, doesn't it?
But I didn't do the best job of fitting it. It was so hard to get on, and it's a very tight fit. And I ended up losing one of the pieces. But, you know, it's on there. Okay, so for your straps, this is super quick strap. You grab your strap slider, and you go, are we on overhead, or where am I going? Should I go here?
You're on main camera.
Okay. We go up and over the centre bar. And then you want to make sure that you fold the raw edge underneath, so it's going to be hidden away.
The whole bunch.
Oh, it's over here somewhere. There you go, it's just there. Okay, so basically, you might have to go to the overhead, Adam.
Yeah.
So basically, your raw edge is completely hidden up there, and you've got 3 layers thick. Now, what you can do if you don't have rivets is just sew a line as close as you can get to the strap slider, and then another line on the end here, and that will fix it in place. But because we've got rivets, we're going to go ahead and punch 2 holes, and then fit the rivets there. And just try to make sure your rivets are about equal. When you've got a patterned webbing like this, it's quite easy because you just make sure they're on the same bit of patterned webbing. You could, of course, do like a 1-inch strap if you prefer, but we're doing a 1.5 inch. So when you use your hand press, there are other smaller, cheaper tools than the hand press, but this is the one that is the easiest to use. Just make sure that your rivet's sitting nice and snug in the bottom one. Bring the top down, but don't press it yet. Make sure that it's not like half on, half off. So it's nice and snug. Give it a good press. And then do the same thing to the other one. Okay. Now we need to put the swivel hooks on, so you just go ahead and slip a swivel hook on the other end. And then you go back over the centre bar. Now, before you go any further, just tighten your strap and make sure that your swivel hook, am I on this one now? Make sure that your swivel hook is on the right side, because if it's pointing inward, you've got a problem. So you just need to redo that. Okay, and then this end, put your second swivel hook on and just do the same thing. You want a 3-layer thick fold so that the raw edge is completely hidden. And either sew it in place, you can do a box or 2 lines, make sure you backstitch really well if you're sewing, because this is a high stress point, or you can go ahead and fit rivets, which is the easy way out. Oh,
yeah, I was making a dog collar yesterday, wasn't I? And you said, just use rivets.
Yeah. She said, can I come over and use Adam's machine? Because I've way overcommitted with the amount of layers I've done on this dog collar. And I said, just use a rivet. So much easier. He looks very nice with his new collar on. I saw him earlier.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Very posh.
He's only allowed to wear it in the house because otherwise he'll be in a cow trough or something and it'll all go rusty.
He loves cow troughs, our dog.
Preston has a home-only collar.
Yes. He's got a scruffy one for when he's in the fields and in all the mud, because he's in mud a lot.
He's hilarious when you take him on a walk and he just sees a cow trough in the distance and he's gone and he's just in it. It's just so bizarre. Like, why would you want to jump in the dirty cow water?
Any dirty water.
Okay. And there is your finished strap. So these webbing straps are the easiest.
They are,
of all, aren't they?
they're great. And it is so nice when you've finally finished your bag and your strap is ready to clip on.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Ready to go, we just need the bag.
Yeah.
That's why the strap is always first in the pattern, isn't it?
Yeah, because I don't want you guys to get to the end of the pattern and then be like, oh, I have to make my strap. We get that over and done with at the beginning. So we got all of our pattern pieces, yeah? Let's just check we've got everything. Okay. So you should have your lining pieces, your base stabilizer, that shouldn't be fused yet, your exteriors, and then you're going to have all of your other bits that you should have gathered, like all of the notions. So that would be your strap, your hardware, your zips, piping, and if you're having them, bag feet, that's optional, D-rings, rivets, yeah, zip pulls. That should be everything, shouldn't it?
Yeah, so we're all prepared now and next week we'll be sewing.
Yeah, so we might get tons of the sewing done next week, we don't know. We wanted to split it into 2 weeks so it's not rushed, because if you've only got like an hour or two, we don't want you to be like rushing or having to dedicate a whole day to it. Plus, if you've got kids like Debbie, dedicating a whole day to anything's a bit impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's everything. I think we're pretty much done for today.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, and so next Sunday you can join us for the sewing bit, sewing part 1.
And the best part is everything worked.
Exactly. And if you can't wait till next week and you just want to start sewing, the full video tutorial is on our YouTube channel. So just go to the Country Cow Designs YouTube channel and you'll find the full tutorial if you want to get started. But yeah, come join us and we'll do it together.
Just perhaps one final question from Brenda about cutting the bottom without having to sew it together.
Yes, so the cutting the base without a seam. So there is an option, and basically what you need to do is follow the pattern pieces. So you'll have your base exterior, and I can't find it right now, but the base stabilizer as well, and they will both have like dotted lines on them before you cut them out. That's the base stabilizer. Oh no, not that one. Yeah. Bottom stabilizer is what I'm thinking of. So the bottom stabilizer will have an extra line underneath that you cut out, and this one has another section here. So basically you just need to make sure that you read the pattern pieces, and if you want a seamless base, then you cut it out differently. So this piece will be twice the size, and then as we go through the pattern, it will have instructions, and it will say if you're having a seamless base, and it's not very many adjustments, it's very little adjustment. Yeah,
Just make sure you double check everything before you cut it.
exactly. So make sure you're cutting it at the right size. Yeah, that's the key.
One final one from Natalie. What is the colour of the solid canvas?
Oh, blush.
Blush, yeah,
Yeah,
that one.
We've got blush and we've got black. But the the canvas of the lining is blush, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So that's on our website, blush. That goes really well with the retro rainbows.
Yeah, it does. Mind you, a lot of things go well with the
too.
retro rainbows.
They do.
Because the brown goes well,
Yeah.
and the red, the Bordeaux, that goes really well.
So we've got a few colours of the plain water-resistant canvas. So this is like you can pour water over it like you drink, and it will run off. But you can't like soak it in water. It won't stay like it's not waterproof. It's just water-resistant. So if you get caught out in the rain, it will just run straight off your bag, which is great, especially in Britain.
Yeah.
Okay, is that everything, Adam? Are we all good?
You're in charge, but yeah, I think we're done.
I don't want to miss any questions. Feel free to email us if you do have any questions. My email is jo, just J-O, at countrycowdesigns.com, and you can email between the sew-alongs and ask any questions. But yeah, hopefully we'll see you next Sunday at 5 o'clock. If it goes really well, we might get all the sewing done next Sunday, but I think we're going to leave it as 2 Sundays for now because we don't want to like keep you guys for your whole evening or morning, depending where you are.
Yeah. Night, I think, in New Zealand. But thanks for joining, everyone.
Yeah, and we hope that you're really prepared and all ready, and we'll get sewing next week. So we will see you then.
Bye.
Have a great week. Bye.